Hello everybody, welcome back to Learning Biology 17.5. Alright, so after all the introduction, 講咗好多嘅介紹啦 about the bones. Okay, so the first two sections is mainly about the bones. And then the next one, we talk about 一個嘅 joints 啦. Okay, so it's like joining two skeleton, joining two bones together 啦. Okay, and then last section, 上一個 section, we talk about the skeletal muscles. We start introducing the muscles. And in this section, we're going to mix them together. 我哋就開始講緊係 how does our body move? 點解會喐得到呢？ So it's actually a coordination, 一個嘅聯合㗎。They are working together. So the skeleton and the muscles are working together. Okay? So let's talk about, so starting from this section, it is going to be like the most difficult and the most important section of this chapter. 係呢一課最重要嘅部分啦。Alright, so please pay attention. Alright. 好啦，嚟咯。First one, we're talking about the transmission, 一個傳遞啦 of 一個 pulling force by tendons. Okay, so just a very short reminder, the linking between two bones, 連接兩個骨頭 is called ligament, and the linking between a bone and a muscle, 連接一個骨頭一嚿肌肉嘅 we call it a tendon. Alright? Okay, so when we talk about the ligaments, we say that it is tough, 都係好堅硬嘅啦 but elastic, 但係佢係有彈性㗎。一個韌帶係有彈性但係堅韌嘅。However, but when we talk about tendons, alright, so the muscle are attached to the bones by this fibrous tissue, 一個有纖維組織啦。So this fibrous tissue is called tendon, and it is tough, once again, but inelastic. So this inelastic is very important. 佢要冇彈性呢樣嘢係好緊要㗎。Why is it very important? Let's look at this paragraph. Okay, so the first sentence is a bit difficult to understand for now. Let's read it later. 遲啲再睇睇啦。So when the muscle contracts, okay, so we know that the muscle is connected to the bone. 佢係連接住個骨頭嘛。So when it is contracting, 當佢收縮嗰陣時 the inelastic tendon, it is not helping you. It will not help you like absorb some shock, absorb some forces. 佢唔會幫你吸走啲力㗎。Alright? So this tendon will immediately, 或者你見到 effectively, 佢會 transmit 就傳遞咗一個嘅 pulling force. 佢就會將拉伸一個動作 it will transmit the pulling force caused by a muscle contraction to the bones. Okay, once again. So now, this tendon is connecting your muscle and your bone. When your muscle contracts, 當佢收縮嗰陣時 it will give out a pulling force. 佢會 generate, 佢會產生一個 pulling force. And since 由於你嘅 tendon is inelastic, 佢冇彈性嘅 it is transmitted to the bone directly. 佢會直接傳遞到去 the bone 嗰度啦。And therefore, your muscle will make your bones move. 你嘅肌肉就會令到你嘅骨頭去食肉啦。Okay? So this is, please make sure you put a star over here and remember this sentence. The sentence is 就係當佢 contract 嗰陣時，呢個 inelastic 嘅 tendon 就會 transmit your pulling force 啦，係 caused by your muscle contraction 去到你嘅 bone 嗰度啦。It's always like this. Alright? So what is this tendon actually connecting? 我哋就再講多少少咯。So one end of this muscle is connected to bone, easy to understand. 其中一嚿會黐住嚿骨啦。And then the other one, what about the other end? 另外一個位置啦，佢就會係 attached to another bone. 呢一個都容易去理解㗎，佢會掂住另外一個 bone. However, you can see that 佢 across a joint. What does it mean by across a joint? If you can understand here, very good. If you cannot, leave it. 得唔得？明嘅而家明咗佢，唔明嘅由得佢。另外一個啦，佢就話 across a joint. That means 佢會跨過另外一個骨。Okay? So it is not connected to the same bone. The muscle 唔係連接住同一嚿骨㗎。 Alright? It is actually connected to at least 2 bones. 佢會連接住2嚿骨㗎。If you look at here more carefully, one of them is connected to one bone, and the other one is connected to another bone. 係另外一個骨，而且係 across a joint. So, for example here, you can see that this is a hinge joint. 佢係跨過咗呢個 hinge joint 去到另外一個骨嗰度㗎。Alright? So this is the reason why our hands can move. If it is only connecting to the same bone, 佢連接住同一個骨嘅話, your arms will not be able to move. Okay? 講到呢度先啦。So, the next part, 我哋就會講啦。So the tendon in our body, some of them can be quite long. And this example is quite fun, okay? So this example, we use our fingers, our palm, 用我哋嘅手掌去講啦。So actually, our fingers, what we are touching, okay? Of course, there are bones, 係有骨頭嘅。But there are only very little muscle over here, 係只得極之少嘅肌肉嘅喎。And actually, most of them are operated by these long tendons. 係由呢個好長嘅一個腱啦，係 extended from muscle in the forearm. So what does it mean by forearm? Forearm means here. Okay? So this is your forearm. So your forearm will develop, will stretch out, 係延伸出啦一啲嘅 tendon, and it will move to your fingers. Okay? Why don't we use muscles? 點解唔直接用肌肉啊？ Because as you can see here, if the muscle are controlling the bones directly, 係直接去控制住個 bone 嘅話, our hand will be like this. Okay? So it's too bulky to work efficiently. Okay? 佢太大嚿啦。Okay? So this one is like one very fun example to tell us that the tendon can be quite long, extended from our forearm, 係由我哋嘅前臂啦 to all the way to the finger. Okay? So that we can move more efficiently. Okay? Okay, so this is the last part of this page. So let's do some revision again. 我就會講到啦 tendon 係咪一個 elastic tissue 呢? While ligament is inelastic. So remember, these two concepts are easily mixed up. Ligament and tendon are easily mixed up. Remember, tendon 係 inelastic 㗎。Since it is inelastic, 由於佢係冇彈性啦，所以啦 it can transmit 呢個嘅 muscle contraction directly to the bone. 得唔得? Okay? 而另外一樣嘢啦，佢 attach muscle to the bones. Ligament 咧 instead 佢係 elastic 嘅喎，佢有彈性㗎。It is holding two bones together. Okay? At least more than two. Oh, sorry, at least two or more. 兩個或者以上嘅骨頭啦。Alright? So just now we've talked about how the tendon works. 佢會點樣去運作㗎啦。Okay? So there are two things. First one, please always remember the function, the short paragraph, 嗰個短短嘅段落啦。Alright? So how does the tendon works? And another thing is, please do not mix up 唔好撈亂 tendon, ligament, and joints. Alright? These three words, tendon, ligament, and joints, please do not mix up. Alright? 好啦 in the next part, 咁你見到 next page 啦，你就會見到啦。So we are now actually talking about how the muscle works. Alright? So this is another very important concept of chapter 17. 得唔得? You need to understand, not to recite. 你呢個位咧一定要去明白嘅。Alright? So first of all, as you can see, I've underlined worked in pairs. So our muscles are actually working in pairs. Okay? So for example, 我哋就會用 bending. So when you look at this word bending, so when your arm is bending, 屈曲緊嗰陣時咧 one muscle will be contracting. Okay? And the opposite muscle, 佢對面嗰個肌肉咧 what is happening? It is relaxing. Alright? So we can look a bit at the diagram now. So as we can see, 你會見到啦 when we're bending the arm, 你會見到 this muscle, 唔好理個名住先 do not care about the name first. Alright? So this muscle will be contracting. What about the opposite muscle? 咁佢對面嗰個係點啊 relaxing. Alright? Okay, so in another scenario, 另外一個情況咯喎 So this one is straightening the arm. 自己就讀啦 straighten. Straighten 即係代表伸直啦 So the same muscle 之前佢 contracting 嘅 but when we're doing the other 或者 the opposite action 嗰陣時做嗰個相反嘅行為動作嗰陣時咧 as you can see, this time it relaxes. 但係啦 what about the opposite muscle? 咁佢對面嗰嚿會點啊 So it is now contracting. Alright? So as you can see, you can observe that 就係different actions 係會有 different muscle 啦會 contract or relax. OK， 而 at the same time 咧，你會知道嘅係乜嘢啊？你係 moving in the opposite direction， 佢兩個係相反㗎。Alright， they act in the opposite direction。好啦 ，so what do we call these muscle pairs？ 呢啲一對對嘅肌肉我哋會叫乜嘢咧 ？So we call them opposing muscles。OK， 自己讀啦 ，opposing muscles。Or there is a more difficult word， 就叫做 antagonistic muscles。antagonistic muscles。OK， so for more details, you can look at this paragraph。OK，mainly 就係 explaining what I was talking about 嘅。咁你會見到啦，就係一個 muscle contract 嗰陣時，佢就 move in one direction， 向住其中一個方向去走嘅。但係啦 ，when I want to move to the opposite direction， 去另外一個方向嗰陣時咧，就會知道係 another muscle will contract。Okay， so you may refer it yourself。好啦 ，so this one you need to know the definition 就係乜嘢咧 ？When 一個 muscle 係 contract 緊嗰陣時 ，when the muscle is contracting and it makes the limb 令到一個我哋嘅肢體啦係 bend。Alright。If the muscle contracts and our limb bends， 我哋個手臂就會屈曲噶啦。This muscle 呢一嚿肌肉啦，我哋就會叫 flexor， 自己睇到啦 flexor。OK， 但係啦 on the other hand 相反咯，就係 when the muscle 係 contract 嗰陣時 and it makes the limb straighten， 佢會令到嗰隻手臂嘅肢體啦係伸直咗嘅話咧 ，this one we call it the extensor， 自己睇到啦 extensor。Alright, so there are just like two types of muscles we are learning. 其中一個就係 flexor, alright, so it makes our arms, it makes our legs bend. 另外一個咧就係呢一個嘅 extensor 就 make it straighten 嘅 ，alright， 令到佢伸直嘅。Okay, so this one is the first example we're learning about the hand. So hand 或者我哋講 arm parts 啦，咁 forearm 前臂嗰度啦。So this one is easier, alright， 相對地容易少少嘅。So we have two words we need to remember. One of them is called bicep， 另外一個就係 tricep 啦。中文你會見到二頭肌、三頭肌。So bi means two and tri means three. Alright？ 好啦，do we need to like recite？ 係咪一定要背？bicep is the flexor and tricep is the extensor。咁 do I need to recite this? The answer is no. You must not。係一定唔可以㗎。Plus you need to understand， 得唔得？好啦 ，try to mix different parts together， 將唔同嘅部分撈埋一齊啦。So I've said in the previous section， 咁啊前一as the first part of this video， alright？ So you may have heard that， 我哋就會講啦，一個 tendon 係 connect two bones at least， 最少係連接住 two bones。So as you can see， the first bone is connecting is this one，and the other one it is connecting is this one。OK， 得唔得？好啦 ，and then you can try to think。So what happens when the muscle contracts? Now you please copy it down, alright? When the muscle contracts, what happens? It gets shorter and thicker. Okay? This one, please put it down. 佢會變得短咗同埋肥厚咗嘅 alright? So you can now imagine. So when this muscle is contracting, 佢會 become shorter, 佢會 become thicker. So shorter and thicker is just like this arrow I'm drawing， 就好似咁樣 is moving towards this direction。好啦 ，so you can imagine what happened to this forearm。我哋嘅呢個前臂會發生咩事啊 ？It goes up， 佢會向上走啦。It moves upwards。And this action 我哋就會叫做 bending the arm。Alright， 所以啦 ，again just look at this bicep 呢個二頭肌嗰度咯。If when it contracts, our arm bends。當佢收縮嗰陣時，我哋嘅手臂就會 bend 啦。So this one, is it a flexor or the extensor? 佢就屬於 flexor 啦。Alright? Yeah, you must know, if you get this one correct, 另外啦，相反翻 when this muscle contracts, 佢we can look at this one, okay? Look at the diagram on the right. When this muscle contracts, 當佢收縮嗰陣時 this arm 係 straighten 嘅。Alright? Why? 因為 you can imagine 就係今次佢咁樣向就呢度走。And then this one is moving towards this direction. But just think about this. This one, when the forearm is being pulled upwards, 你望實 this area okay? Look at this area. So when this part is pulled upwards, actually it straightened the arm. 佢會係令到手臂係垂直咗㗎。 So therefore, this time, when this muscle contracts, 當呢個 tricep 係 contract 嗰陣時 it straighten the arm， 佢會令到個手臂伸直咗啦。So this one is actually the extensor， 得唔得？佢會係 extensor 啦。Alright, so once again, I may need a blackboard to explain more explicitly. 可能有個黑板會更加清晰咁樣同大家講得到啦。So please make sure you understand the concept, not reciting the concepts. Alright, 唔係背嘅。Okay? Or you will always get this wrong. Okay? 好啦，咁然後就 these are some of the words you may need to explain when you are asked in the questions. 得唔得？你可能需要解釋一下啦。So as you can see, bicep, this one, contract 啦。Tricep 就會係 opposite action， 相反嘅行為，佢就 relax 啦。Therefore, you bend the arm. OK? 相反咯 ，when you straighten the arm， 你嘅 tricep 就會 contract， 你嘅 bicep 就會 relax 啦。然後啦 ，this time we straighten the arm. Alright? 好啦 ，so this one, just be careful of the words， 小心留意下啲字啦。OK? So, it's not like bicep contract, tricep relax 嗰陣時，佢就會 straighten 啦，得唔得 ？So we need to be careful. The bone will not straighten. Bone is always straight. Otherwise, 你係有嘅係 bone fracture， 你有嘅係骨折。Alright? So, what we always say is the arm is straightened， 或者亦都可以講 the limb 嗰個肢體咧係 straighten 咗啦，得唔得？或者 is bended。Alright? 好，冇問題嘅話咧 ，move to the last part of this section. So this part is very important. I'll try to explain again in class, okay? So I would like to draw something first. Please choose a blank space and draw it with me. 等我同我一齊畫一畫啦 alright? So first one, we draw the arm. So the arm is like this, okay? So what will we draw? I will draw two muscles. This one is the bicep. This one is the tricep. 前邊二頭肌，後邊係三頭肌。Alright? So it's not very difficult. I'm just drawing what I have taught. 呢個比較簡單少少嘅。Again, when this muscle, okay, I'll put down A and B. 我寫低 A 同埋 B 啦。When this muscle B contracts, 當佢收縮嗰陣時 it gets shorter and thicker. 佢變得短咗同埋肥身咗嘅。So you can imagine, so it is shrinking. 佢縮細咗。And then what will happen is connecting this part of the arm. 佢 connect 緊 forearm 係 in this part. 所以啦，當佢 contract, when this muscle contracts, the forearm will be lifted upwards. Alright? 呢個就係 first scenario 啦。好 ，another case. Again, this time 就係呢一個嘅 A contracts. A 一嚿 the tricep is contracting. B is relaxing. Alright? 好啦 ，A contracts, but what you need to know, 你要注意嘅係乜嘢啊 ？Where the tendon is connected， 究竟我腱係 join 咗咩位置咧 ？The tendon is connected here. Okay, so if the tendon is connected here, when the muscle A 當個 tricep 係 contracts 嗰陣時，佢就會 the forearm 就會 be pulled here， 就 pulled downwards， 得唔得？所以咧，當係 pulled downwards 嗰陣時，你嘅 forearm 就會 straighten 咗啦。得唔得？你成個 arm 都會 straighten 咗啦。Okay? So this level 1 you have to understand. And then what we're going to talk about is about the leg. Leg, it has a very similar situation. 睇下畫到先，畫到嘅。Alright? 好 So I'll keep on drawing here, but don't mind. So you can find some blank space and draw it. Alright? So when we talk about the leg, it's the same. But the leg is a bit more difficult. The leg is just like a lotus. 就好似一個蓮藕咁樣。Okay? So just imagine this is the leg. So how many muscles are there? 其實 we have 4 muscles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so first of all, you need to know where the tendons are connected. 唔該，一定要記實呢樣嘢，佢黐住喺邊度。Alright, so the tendon this time is connected to here. Okay, there is a tendon over here. From the sorry. 好，我自己寫啲 A B C D 先。We put down A B C D. Okay, please do not mix this up. So in total, we have actually 4 tendons. Okay, as you can see, look at this diagram again. We have 2 muscles, 2 tendons. Very easy. 因為點解啊 ？Tendon joins 呢個嘅 muscle 同埋 bones 噶嘛。So how many muscles are there? How many tendons will there be? 得唔得 ？Okay, so in the example of the arm, we have mentioned 2 tendons. 我哋有2個 tendon 有講到嘅。And in the case of a leg, 喺呢個腳嘅情況之下 we have 4 muscles, 有4個肌肉 therefore we have 4 tendons. Alright? 好啦 so when we look at B, when we look at the first tendon, it's related to B. B 係會拉住呢一嚿骨嘅 this part of the bone. Okay? And then what about A? A is pulling that part of the bone. Okay, so these 2 tendons belong to A and B. What about C and D? Okay, so when we talk about C and D, so C is over here, C, and D is over here. Okay, so where are they connected? C 嘅話係 connected here. D 嘅話係 connected here. Alright, so these 2 lines are the tendons, which belongs to C and D. Alright? 清唔清楚先 Alright, so make sure you draw this diagram. Alright? 好，我再 draw it once again. 再講多一次，輕輕知啫。Alright, so there are totally 4 muscles. Alright, so therefore we have 4 tendons. B joins this part. A 就會 join this part of the bone. 而 D 就會 join this part of the bone. C 係 join the bottom part of the bone. Alright, so this is very important. 好啦 so now I need you to use some imagination. 我哋有少少嘅幻想嘅。So when B is contracting, 當佢 have these 2 arrows 嗰陣時，佢會 pull the leg 係 upward， 佢就會呢個扯緊咗啦。Okay, pull the leg upward. 所以啦 the leg will go like this direction. The leg will kick up. Alright, but you can imagine this is your kneecap. 呢個位置係你膝頭哥嚟嘅。Can it pull even 會 bend 㗎佢？佢會屈曲咗㗎 ？The answer is no. Alright, it will just straighten. 佢就會伸直咗啫。So when muscle B contracts, 你呢隻腳係 straighten 嘅。On the other hand, okay, 前面有 kneecap 阻住你啫。On the other hand, when A contracts, 當 A 呢個位收縮嗰陣時 it will start pulling the back. Okay, 佢會去咁樣向後去塞，去 pull it from the back. 佢會咁樣去屈曲佢啦。So in this case, your leg will bend. 佢咁樣嘅情況之下，佢就會屈曲咗啦。Okay, because the leg can bend this way. 得唔得 ？There is no kneecap here. Okay, 呢個就係 A and B 嘅情況。B contract 佢會 straighten. A contract 佢會 bend. Okay, so now let's look at C and D. C and D, we are looking at the feet. 係睇向腳板㗎。Alright, so when D contracts this direction again, when D contracts, 佢會 pull this feet upward. 當佢 pull this feet upward 嗰陣時，你會形成咗一個 the feet will bend. You will form a right angle. 你會形成一個直角出嚟啦。Your feet will bend. 好啦，但係咯 when your C is contracting, 當佢係收縮緊嗰陣時 it will pull this part backward. 就會揈咗佢去後邊嘅位 pull it backward. When it's pulled backward, your feet 就會 straighten 咗啦，佢會伸直咗嘅。Alright, 所以啦 when D contract 佢會 bend. When C contract, the feet will straighten. Okay, so try to understand this concept in this video. I know it's rather difficult to understand, but please have a first understanding about this part first. Okay, make sure you understand it again. Alright, so these 2 purple pages are very, very important. Alright, chapter 17, it must be asking you this one. 一定會考你呢樣嘢嘅。Okay, so it can be asking you about which one is the contractor, which one is the flexor. Okay, 可能咁樣問緊你啦。Okay, 或者啦，另外一樣嘢啦 when certain muscle contracts, 究竟 our arms will it bend, they will it straighten? He may also ask you this one. Alright? Okay, so that's nearly the end of this video. Alright, so these 2 pages, please try to do it and pay attention to it while you're doing it. Alright? 自己集中少少俾啲心機去做呢度啦。Alright? Especially these parts. If you get it all correct, that means you're doing it very well. 得唔得？好。If there is no question, let's move on to the bottom part. Let's move on to the bottom part. For the purple pages, I'll make another video and talk about it. 得唔得？ Just in case you're not at school or just in case we do not have time to teach it. 得唔得？ Okay? Alright, so please now move to page 22. Please move to page 22. Alright, so this one is a common disease which we often heard of, 網球肘啦, tennis elbow. Alright, so this time tennis elbow is actually inflammation. 自己讀多次呢隻字啦 inflammation 發炎啦 of your tendon 嘅 alright so this tendon is actually joining our arm okay from the back limb to the forelimb okay 佢會 join 緊呢一 parts 嘅 alright so we have overused them 用得佢哋過多啦 and therefore they are damaged and leading to some pain okay 就可能會經常性痛啦 alright so usually what kind of people will have this problem? Of course, tennis players. Okay, tennis players we use our arm, 係 the whole arm， 得唔得？我哋會用手臂嘅力嘅。It's not like badminton. Badminton we use our wrist. Okay, just for your information. 我哋會用到手腕嘅。Alright. So therefore, when you're playing badminton and you feel that your elbow is feeling painful, that means you use the wrong force. 得唔得？如果打羽毛球嗰陣時，你覺得手臂痛啦，覺得你個手踭痛嘅話咧 ，you're using the wrong force， 用咗錯嘅力啦，得唔得 ？So other than the tennis players, there are also other people. For example， 你係 repetitive use， 自己讀呢隻字啦 ，repetitive， 代表係重複性使用嘅啦。咁佢就俾一啲例子嚟嘅，例如 for example cooks 一啲嘅廚師啦 ，because they are holding very heavy woks，very heavy utensils， 佢哋可能拎住啲比較重嘅一啲器皿啊。Alright, and other people like painters, carpenters, 一啲嘅木匠啦，一啲嘅一個嘅畫家等等啦。Alright, so as the white collar, 一啲嘅白領人士啦。So we are using the computer mouse all the time, and it may also affect 一啲嘅like when we are facing the computer all the time, we often have this disease. 得唔得 Alright, so that's all for this video, and again 5 seconds rule, and I'll explain this question with you. 得唔得Okay, so that's all for this video, and I'll count down 5 seconds for now. Okay, please make sure you do it before we check the answers. Alright, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get started. 咁就開始啦喎。So first one, please look at the direction. 應該以後嘅 MC start with the very top, start with the very beginning. 由一開始就慢慢睇啦。Question 1 and 2, 咁就睇呢一幅圖啦。Look at this diagram. 然後就會見到 two different postures.Postures 係解姿勢 ，alright. So this one is a goalkeeper， 一個嘅守門員啦。So he has different postures. As you can see, this part he is bending， 佢屈曲緊嘅。This part he is straightening. His leg is straightened， 就會伸直咗啦。So make sure one thing 就係 from the so this leg is divided into two parts， 係兩部分嘅。First part is just like what I've drawn. This is the first part.And what is the other part? 另外一個部分係 this part. So it's like bending. Look at the diagram on the right. 你會見到 two parts. The first part is this part. And the other part is the feet and the lower hind limb. 一個下邊嘅一個小腿啦，我哋講。Alright? So it's always divided in two parts. 好啦，然後啦就 look at 呢一個嘅 question 啦喎。佢就話啦 which of the following statements about your leg in diagram 3 is correct? Okay? 咁咧我哋望一望先啦。First one, 我哋有 three joints. Alright? So of course, when we talk about 呢一個嘅bending 嘅話 we only talk about Y and Z. We don't really need to care about X. Alright? And then we have four muscles, P, Q, R, S. Alright? 好啦，然後啦你就會見到咯喎 muscle P and Q control joint Y. P and Q control Y. 啱啦 That's correct. R and S control Z.This is also correct. Alright? Alright, next one. P and R, Q and S 係 two pairs of opposing muscles. P and R 同 Q and S 會唔會 opposing muscle 啊 The answer is no. 因為 the answer should be P and Q 係 opposing 啦 R and S 亦都係 opposing 嘅。Alright? So B is wrong. And then C. 你會望到啦 P and S 係 flexor. Okay, so for now you need to like really doing it. Alright， 自己去試一試做啦。So when, for example, just use P as an example。當佢 P 係 contract，當佢收縮嗰陣時 ，what will happen？ 就係佢會 straighten，the leg will straighten。Alright， 當個 leg 係 straighten 嘅話，佢叫 extensor 定係 flexor？ 佢叫 extensor。So P should be extensors。已經錯咗啦。Alright， 好啦 ，S for example 用埋 S 做例子啦。So S again contract。當佢 contract 嗰陣時 ，look at this joint， 佢會係 connecting this part of the feet， 係呢一個部分。Alright， so when it contract， it will pull the feet downwards， 佢會咁樣令到個 feet 去喐嘅。And therefore this one also straighten， 所以 S also 係一個 extensor 嚟嘅，佢係寫調轉咗嘅。Both P and S are the extensors， 所以 C is also wrong。OK， 咁當然啦 ，D must be wrong 噶啦。你會見到 P and R 係 flexor， 你都見到點解錯啦。Alright，R 係 flexor 嚟嘅 ，R is flexor，but P is not flexor。OK，so the answer is A。好啦 ，the next one，question 2。咁你就見到啦 ，which of following 係會 correctly 啦，正確咁樣講咗呢個 action of the leg muscles， 佢哋個行為啊。OK，in attaining the posture shown in diagram 1 and 2。attaining 自己讀呢隻字啦 ，attaining 係解達到、做到 ，you can do it。OK，doing the position、doing the posture 係 in diagram 1 and 2。OK， 咁你見到啦 ，just as I've explained， 咁呢一個 question 已經幫緊你啦。佢同你講 P and S 其實佢哋係 extensor，so we put a E here。P and S 係 extensor， 而 Q and R 就係一個 flexor 嚟嘅。Alright，Q and R 係一個 flexor。好啦，咁然後啦，佢就話咯，we look at diagram 1， 你會見到啦 ，both of them are bending。OK， 咁既然 both of them bending 嘅話，咁究竟 just look at diagram 1， 咁究竟佢 which one 係 contract 緊呢？咁你會知道啦，當然係你嘅 flexor contract 緊啦。So Q and R should be contracting. Let's look at it. Q and R contracting. The answer is C. 好啦，當然啦 ，of course you need to double check. Double check. 咁你見到啦 ，diagram two, everything is extended, everything is straightened， 全部都伸直咗嘅。咁當然 which one is contracting？ 你嘅 extensor contracting， 所以 P and S 係 contracting 嘅。The answer is C. Alright? Okay, so therefore that's the explanation about question 1 and 2. I'm sorry this video is quite long. I think it's up to like 30 minutes. Okay, so as I've said, I'll make the purple pages another video. Okay, so please look at that as well. This is one very important part in chapter 17, so I used this much of time. I'm sorry about it, but please pay attention to the skills. 咁得自己注意下技巧啦。Okay, so that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.